Hey YouTube, it's Manny. Some of you may know I did a new stream room. I ended up getting an uplift desk to frame. So I wanted to get a nice Butcher Block countertop, that's what this is, for the desktop. So this is an unfinished Butcher Block from, I picked this up at Home Depot. It is 100% solid Haviva. Doesn't really matter to me. I just want a nice one, a nice Butcher Block table that I could, Butcher Block countertop. It's 74 inches by 25 inches and 1.5 inches thick. So I want to go over everything I have for what we're going to use to actually treat it and set it up, all right? So let's just go through it. First off, we got a whole bunch of, these are probably 2-inch sponge brushes. I got like 5 of them or something. I'm probably not going to need that many of them. Big old bag of rags. You don't have to buy these. If you have them around the house, fine. Otherwise, you're going to need rags. Clean up, whatever else stain. We got a bottle of mineral spirits. We're going to use this as a pre-treat, pre-stain, and we're going to use it to clean up any sanding and stuff like that. Important gloves. I already had these. You need gloves. Protect your hands from the stains and all the harsh chemicals. We do have water-based polyurethane. So this will be going on after. I'm thinking 3 coats. I'll double check the instructions, but I want to do 3 coats probably. And then we got wood stain. This is water-based and it's espresso color. I wanted a nice dark. I would prefer gel-based, but they didn't have it there, and I'm like, whatever, I'll make do with it. That's why we're using mineral spirits to really soak it in, and so we don't get any, I want to say like blemishes or blotches. You kind of get blotchy stuff sometimes, so I want to soak it in good with mineral spirits, then we're going to stain it. And then we got 320 grit sandpaper. This is going to be the sanding for between our poly coats and stuff. I may sand it down. I don't know what it feels like. It feels pretty good. I might not sand it right now. I might just stain it, and then we'll give it a light sanding, and then we'll poly it. And of course, sanding block, all right? Very important. Now, I'm dressed like this. Got to change because do not wear nice street clothes, even if, whatever nice, but wear painting clothes. You're using stain and poly, you're gonna ruin your stuff. So let me get changed, we'll get back to this. All right, so we got it flipped over to the top, the side that I'm gonna call a top. I'm gonna sand a lot more, and I'm gonna hit the edges so they're not so sharp. Edges on my elbows and stuff. So I'm gonna hit the edges a little bit too. So let's start with that. We're just gonna kind of take the round them off a little bit. I could get a router out and do that, but I just don't really want to. I just want to take just a quick over the edge so they're not so sharp.
So while I'm staying, I just want to let you guys know that I did, what I first did was I actually stained the bottom of the table first, make sure I like the color. I recommend doing that because you're not going to see the bottom of the table anyway. So if you mess the color up, you don't like the color, you have a chance to change it or correct it. So I stained the bottom. You can kind of see a little bit of stain on the sides. So I just want to talk about that before we go on to the rest of it, because you might notice it.
All right, that's a good sanding. So now we're going to apply the mineral spirits, top and sides. All right, let's let this sit for a couple minutes, and then we'll come back, 5 minutes, come back and apply the stain. All right guys, for some reason the video cut out on me. So all we did was apply it, all sides, apply it evenly on top, good amount. We're gonna wipe off the excess. I do the sides last to make sure that there's no drips or excess just running down so that there's discoloration. So that's it. We're going to wait 2 to 3 minutes, and then we're going to be back and we're going to wipe it down, and we'll see what finished product looks like. All right, so it's been about 2 to 3 minutes. I'm going to start wiping down, and I'm going to wipe this first edge down, go behind, and then that way.
Yeah, so I apologize for not showing the actual staining of the wood anyway. All I did was use a rag and just dip it directly in the stain, throw it on the wood, and just rub it in. That part's not really that interesting. What is, just so you know, that I do apply 2 coats of stain, so I basically just wait 3 hours and apply another coat. I'm not gonna, I didn't record that either. I just didn't think it was worthwhile to actually show doing the same thing twice, even though I probably should have recorded it since I didn't get it the first time. But that's it.
All right, so we got two coats of stain on it, right? I did actually wait like 24 hours, almost like 20 something hours for it to dry, make sure everything's nice and dry. So we're going to put on our first coat of polyurethane. First thing I'm gonna do is, I know I didn't show you, but I'm gonna use a tack cloth and just once go over it, make sure there's nothing, no dust or anything that kind of got blown on here. I did have a fan on it to make sure it dried well. So we're gonna just quickly. Do not shake your can. Like my paints and stuff, I'll just hand shake them a lot of times, especially the small cans like this. You do not want to shake this because you'll cause bubbles. You don't want bubbles. All right, so you just want to stir it. Stir it up. Stir it up real good. All right. I use this brush to brush off the excess. Now you can use a sponge like I am, or you can use a synthetic brush. So we're gonna first do the edges. We're gonna do all the way around the edges. Always try to do the edges first. Kind of soak your brush up good, right?
All right, so I think this is probably the most important part of the whole process, is actually putting down the poly. You wanna do everything in one stroke across. You don't wanna stop and reapply in certain areas. You don't wanna even wipe over anything. So try to do everything. Really soak that sponge up and really apply it all in one stroke. And you'll see me right here. It's obviously I sped it up quite a bit. I'm going much slower than that. I doubled over that one. That's not good. The sponge wasn't soaked enough. So as you can see, I'm applying a little more pressure each time. So I drag it down and I keep applying more pressure. And you can see me bending the sponge a little more to make sure that I get a even stroke all the way down. Now this is technically my third coat of poly. This was my best one, so that's why I wanted to show you guys this one. My first two coats were obviously not quite as good. You want to sand with 320 between coats. I didn't show that, and I apologize once again. But this one was probably the best one. So this is the most important part of the whole thing, is applying the poly, a nice even coat straight across without, like I said, lifting the brush off. This is how you're gonna get a beautiful, beautiful coat. You can see on the right side of the screen there, it's a little thick. I kind of got some of it on a swipe across. So you basically want, right there, that's not good, but I had to do it to clean up too much, a little too heavy.
All right, well, hopefully that's the last coat I need to do. We'll see it in a couple hours. Well, actually, yeah, it's late right now, so we'll probably see it in the morning. All right, we'll see how it looks. Check in a little bit. All right, guys, so that's it. We finished it up. That's a third coat. It feels really good. A couple things I did learn, and hopefully you guys can take away a couple things. So with the stain, you really have, I don't know if it was a bad batch of stain or something like that, but when I put it on and I wiped it off, I had to really scrub some of it. I don't know if I waited too long. The piece is only 6 feet by 2 feet, so it's not that big. And I put the stain on the whole thing. Then I wiped it off, and it almost was like some of it started to get thicker. Like it was starting to dry, like in clumps. So that was hard. Maybe doing smaller areas first. Or the other thing, like I said, I wanted to go with a gel stain, which might have been better. So that was one thing. So it really messed up. I actually did, I didn't show you guys, I did a little sanding at one point because it was it was really thick, the stain. The polyurethane really soaked the brush. The first coat of poly was a little tougher. Two things. One, I contaminated my poly. I ended up taking a nylon and filtering it through that to clean it out. You really don't want to dip right into the can. Put it in a cup, like a solo cup or something like that, and then apply it that way. So that way you have pure poly and it's not contaminated. When you do it, soak that brush, stroke all the way down. I started getting better. The last coat I did was awesome, which was great because that's a finished coat, so it feels really nice. But you really want to all the way down so there's no strokes, there's no unevenness or anything like that. I also used a satin finish, which looks nice, but I wonder if I should have just went with a gloss, a gloss to make it really shine. But it's a computer desk. It's gonna have a big mouse pad on it, computers and other stuff. So I'm really happy with how it came out. For the most part, there are some spots where I could tell the stain got messed up where I had to sand, thing like that. But overall, I'm very happy with it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, please hit that like button below. And if you want to, and you have any questions, leave a comment. Do my best to answer them. If you'd like to see more content like this, then please smash that subscribe button. You can also hit me up when I'm live over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Maniocrity, where I stream Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evening, starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Till next time, YouTube, take it easy.